Some crimes feel distant. They happen somewhere else, to someone else, in places we don't recognize. But other crimes feel personal, even if we never knew the people involved. In December of 2025, a case out of Bethpage, Long Island, did exactly that. Not because it involved strangers, not because it involved organized crime, but because it involved a family, a mother, a father, and their adult son. Inside a small, family-owned deli, a place associated with routine, familiarity, and community, 2 lives were lost, and the person accused of taking them was their own child. Tonight, we're taking a slow, careful, and factual look at the case of Vito D Ambrosio, a case that raised painful questions about family conflict, warning signs, and whether tragedy could have been prevented. This is not a sensational story. It's a human one. Bethpage is not a place people expect to see headlines like this. Located in Nassau County, Long Island, it's a suburban community known for quiet streets, family homes, and small businesses that have operated for decades. In towns like Bethpage, local delis aren't just stores. They're landmarks. People stop in on the way to work. Parents bring their kids after school. Owners know regular customers by name. The D'Ambrosio family deli was one of those places. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't famous. It was familiar. And that familiarity is what made the events of December 4th, 2025 so deeply unsettling. The victims in this case were Vito D Ambrosio's parents. They were married. They ran the deli together. They lived private lives. Friends and customers described them as hardworking and routine-oriented, the kind of people who opened the shop early and closed it late. They were parents who had raised a son, built a business, and remained rooted in their community. There was nothing publicly known about them that suggested their lives would end in violence. And that is one of the most difficult parts of this case. There was no public feud, no criminal lifestyle, no dangerous environment, just a family business and a family conflict that would later come into focus. Vito D Ambrosio was 30 years old at the time of the incident. By that age, many people have established independence, careers, relationships, or at least stability. But court records and reporting suggest Vito's life had been marked by ongoing difficulty, legal trouble, strained relationships, behavior that had already drawn the attention of the justice system. One detail stood out immediately to investigators and the public. Vito was reportedly wearing an ankle monitor at the time of the alleged crime. That meant he was already under court supervision. This wasn't a case of someone completely off the radar. There were systems in place, and that raised a troubling question. If safeguards existed, why didn't they stop this? As details emerged, it became clear this was not an isolated incident. Reports indicated that Vito had previously been subject to a restraining order. There were allegations of harassment behavior in his past. These were not rumors passed through social media. They were legal actions. Restraining orders are issued when someone is believed to pose a risk, emotionally, physically, or psychologically. They are meant to create distance. They are meant to prevent escalation. But restraining orders do not physically stop someone. They rely on compliance. And ankle monitors track movement. They do not control actions. This case exposed the limits of those tools. On December 4th, 2025, police were called to the D'Ambrosio family deli. Inside, they found both parents deceased. Authorities moved quickly to secure the scene. Vito D Ambrosio was taken into custody. Police later stated that this was a domestic-related incident, not a random act, and that there was no danger to the public. The deli was closed indefinitely. The street fell silent, and a community struggled to understand how a family business became the site of such loss. Bethpage reacted the way small towns often do, with disbelief. Customers left flowers outside the closed deli. Neighbors spoke quietly about the parents, trying to reconcile their memories with the headlines. For many, this case felt especially painful because it wasn't about crimes spilling in from outside. It came from within a family, and that made it harder to explain and harder to process. As the case gained attention, conversations widened. People began asking difficult questions. What happens when warning signs exist, but escalation still occurs? How effective are monitoring systems? How much responsibility falls on institutions, and how much on individuals? Ankle monitors are tools, not solutions. Restraining orders are legal barriers, not physical ones. This case became a reminder that prevention is complex and imperfect. The case of Vito D Ambrosio is not just about guilt or innocence. That will be decided in court. It's about loss. 2 parents lost their lives. A family was destroyed. A community was shaken. And a system was tested, with tragic results. This story reminds us that some of the most devastating crimes are not loud or public. They happen quietly, behind closed doors, in places we least expect. Thank you for watching. If you value respectful, in-depth, true crime coverage, consider subscribing for more long-form documentaries.